math, when we talk about area, what are we talking about? Brian?
The area and how much.
You can't use the word to define the word.
I'm talking about what area it is.
You still use the word to define the word. Sammy?
Length times width.
Yeah, but that doesn't tell me what it is. Understand that. Kayleen, what is area?
How much the inside of the shape is.
How much the inside of a shape is. Did you get that from the book there?
Measuring.
I guess you could say how much flat space something takes up. And anything we measure in area is measured in squares. And squares are relative based upon their size. For example, a square centimeter is not much bigger than this. 1 centimeter squared, I'll put it like that. A square inch gets a little bit bigger, something like that. A square foot, if you look on the floor, our floor is cut into those square foot tiles. And then you can have square miles, which would be very huge if you measure. If you're telling how big a state is, you would use how many square miles. Carpet, when you want to carpet a room at your house, that is measured in square feet. It actually used to be measured in square yards, but they wanted the price of carpet to look a lot cheaper, so then they started charging it in square feet.
Look a lot cheaper.
And that's true. If you look at my room, and I always ask this question, I'm sure I asked you last year, about how many square feet do you think just this classroom is? And we still don't remember. My class.
Square 90 degrees.
No, it's not 6. It was like 30.
Taking away that, pretending that that little cutout there isn't there for the hallway, and that was actually part of the room because that would change it a little bit. My room is exactly 30 feet by 30 feet. And that if you use, which we should write down the formula for area, area equals length times width. Which I guess is a good thing to do. How do you know in math, it doesn't matter what order you do this in there, but in math, which one is the length, which one is the width? Brooke Kala?
The length is the long side.
Right. We usually think of the length as being the long side and the width as being the narrow side. In this case here, obviously it doesn't matter because they're both 30. So to find the area of this, we do 30 times 30, and that actually is, there are 900 square feet in my classroom. If you count those little squares, you would come awful close to that 900 square foot number. And you'd have to take away about, what is that? That's probably a 3 by, you can tell by the ceiling tile. What is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6 times 2, 12 feet this way, and probably about 3 feet that way. So you'd have to take away 36 feet squared from this because of the doorway there. So if you took that 36 away, 864 feet squared. If I was getting some carpet, I'd have to go in there and buy 864 square feet. Of course, there's always, you know, you could always do it the old-fashioned way. Why does length times width work? Well, if you've got a rectangle, let's say this is 4 inches by, I guess, 8 inches. If we actually cut this into those 4 inches and it looked like this, there's my 4 inches this way, and then my 8 inches this way would look like this. You could sit down and count all of those squares. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and blah, 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 blah. But if you know that you have, 8 squares this way and they're 4 high, it's just a matter of multiplying 4 times 8 to get all 32 units squared. And if you're using the little 2 to show the square units, okay, never put it next to the number, because that's not the same thing. You cannot do this. Never do that to show square whatever things, because that is 32 squared, which means 32 times 32. If it's 32 units squared, the square has to go next to the units. Like that, inches squared, feet squared. And you do need to label, people. You have to label, because straight measurement is much different than square measurement. So let's do a little practice problem here. Let's see. Well, the area of a square is 25 inches squared. Area of a square is 25 inches squared. How long is each side? If this problem comes up in the book, the first thing I would do is, Cabran? Yep, you would draw a square, knowing that a square is as best you can 4 equal sides. And I know that the area of this is 25 inches squared. How do I know how long each side is? Interestingly enough. How do I know how long each side is, Brooke?
You just find something that adds up equals something times something that would equal 25.
And what do I know about that something times something? Since this is a square, those two somethings have to be the same exact number. The square has both equal sides, so what same side times itself gives me 25? What does each side have to be, Brookeala?
5.
Correct, every side would have to be 5.
But then no, that only adds up to 20.
Well, we're not looking for perimeter, I'm looking for area. Area equals length times width, 5 times 5. Perimeter would be 20. Area would be 25. What do you think about that? That's not too bad. Here's a question for you.